Okay, in late 1999, you guys put out the first album of unreleased material with Tupac, which was the Tupac and Outlawz album, Still I Rise. I wanted to see if you could speak a little bit about what was going on at the time between Suge and the estate, and if there was any back and forth, because I know that logo on or that album on the internet is kind of synonymous because there are no logos on the back. It's just credited as an Interscope album. So I know Edie had spoken on this a while ago on his channel, and he mentioned why he believes that the promotion ended for that album. But I just wanted to get your thoughts on what was going on between you guys and the estate during the making or release of that Still I Rise album.
Well, once we got everything worked out with Afeni, Mr. Shakur, everything was good. So that's not why the promotion of the album stalled or stopped. Because you kind of asked me two questions. So the first part, I'll go in, and that was your boy Reggie Wright idea. Reggie Wright came up with this idea about the no logos. Because Suge felt, hey, they are Death Row artists. This is a Death Row album. It should just be Death Row and Interscope on the back. Afeni was like, hey, no, I control these songs along with Death Row. And my son, meaning Tupac, is on the album. Amaru should be on the back.
You know, Reggie, I hate to cut you off, but I just saw on my phone that there was another massive data breach. And you know, like I know, every time one of these huge corporations have a data breach, your information is leaked to who knows where. Your risks for identity theft and scams skyrocket. Have you ever wondered how your private information gets out there? This information is compiled and sold by data brokers. This is done without your consent, and legally they have to remove your information if you ask them to, but they make it extremely difficult to do so. And this is where today's sponsor, Aura, comes in. Aura does all the hard work for you. They are all-in-one digital security. With Aura, you get alerts if your information is found on the dark web. You get real-time fraud alerts, 24/7 monitoring to help stay secure, a secure VPN, and always US-based support. So stop leaving yourself vulnerable to data breaches. Go to the sponsor by clicking the link in the description or by visiting aura.com/bomb first, and you can get a 14-day free trial and see if any of your data has been exposed.
And they were going back and forth about that because, you know, our thing is, hey, these Outlawz are Death Row artists now. But we knew we needed those Tupac songs, and we couldn't get them without Afeni signing off. We probably could have, but the way the agreement was, the settlement agreement was done, and Interscope was like raising their hands like, y'all work it out, please. And so I came up with the agreement. I was like, okay, Suge. I went to Suge and said, Suge, can we just do it? Because we will need money, and I think we was getting a $3 million advance for that. And I was like, can we just not put any logos on the back? And I think we even wrote something in the description about Death Row and all that, whereas, because, you know, I'm one of those who believe you put shit in writing for black folks, they don't read it, and they won't catch it. So I think it says something about Amaru and Death Row in the lines, or it might even just have Universal and Interscope. Forget how it was. But Suge just really wanted the logo on the back, but he acquiesced to it. He gave me permission to go ahead and let the album come out with no logos on the back other than Interscope. And I don't even know if Interscope was on the back, but John may correct me because it might have just been in the writing, you know, to show the ownership. But I'm not for sure. I'm not 100% on that. But I'm sure John will post this up for y'all. So that's what happened with the reason why Amaru or Death Row wasn't on the back of Still I Rise album. However, that was a Death Row album, right? All right. Now, the second part that John brought up is why the album went dead or went silent. Because the album sold 2 million records, which wasn't great for Death Row standards in 98, you know, because we still living off of 95, 94, and 96 standards, right? It turned out to be great for our standards, 99, 2000, 2001, but it wasn't great for what we was used to. And so it did about 2 million record, 2 million sales. And so, but the way you have to pretty much promote an album back in the day, is you got to get out and work them, and do like shows and MTV and videos and all of that stuff. It's how you needed to really market or promote an album. So y'all know who our cash cow or who we was banking on at the time was the Realest and Top Dog, right? We was trying to really promote the sound-alikes. I'll admit, messed up the Realest career because the Realest is a hell of a writer and a talent. But him being loyal to his label, he played along with the sound-alike stuff or that image or that gimmick. That's what it turned out to be, a gimmick. And I hate that we did that to the Realest to this day. But, so what we did is we went to the Outlawz and Edie and them and was like, I need Edie, I need the Realest to perform songs with y'all as if he was Pop, you know? And y'all do y'all parts, the promotion, and to go on tour and all of that. And the Outlawz was livid. The Outlawz was like, no, we can't do that. They cool to this day with the Realest. I actually think they kind of do shows like that with the Realest now. But they all are cool as a motherfucker, right? You know, great relationship, especially Edie and the Realest relationship. But they wasn't going for that, you know. I guess it was too soon, you know, the term too soon. And so they shot it down. Reggie and Suge being as they are, we shut them down. And that's why we kind of killed the Outlawz Still I Rise album. So that's what happened. And that's why the album got shut down. That's when, after that, that's when Mutal came up and asked to be released. And we gave him some parameters to get released. And it all got worked out. Now, I do remember something happening later when Suge came home, where they came up to Soundcastle Studio and they tried to act like they did some banging or something on some of the stories. But as I remember, they were released prior to that and before that. So I don't get what that confrontation was about or that conversation, but we never really had a confrontation with them. I forget what that was about. But the main thing was, and shout out to Napoleon, because he helped me, don't even know it, he helped me live probably for about, until about 2018, because he's the one that introduced me and gave me the number to Alan Grumblock. It was actually a guy named Cliff that worked over at Koch Entertainment. And as y'all know, I worked for Koch Entertainment all the way up until 2018. But Napoleon is the one that told me, hey, these guys want to do some business with y'all. If y'all ever able to or in position or want to do something. And the only person that I knew that they had did at that time was the Yin Yang Twins and the Outlawz. But as y'all know, from that point on, was Suge allowing me to take his catalog over there and negotiate the deal with E1 Entertainment, Koch. Y'all know how big they became in the urban and in the in the urban market and independent labels. Which, hey, I had worked out a deal for Suge until the bankruptcy and everything, where everything urban that came out on Koch Entertainment, Suge was getting a 5% override. He lost all that in the bankruptcy, but could y'all imagine Suge getting 5% off of all of those black acts that came over there at Koch? And I made about $120,000 a year because my salary was $10,000 a month until 2018. So, yeah, he won Koch. And that deal with the Outlawz, them going breaking away and finding Koch Entertainment helped me out tremendously. Even my boy John had a job over there for a while. So, shout out Koch Entertainment.